welcome back. This is Sealchan, and this is my Minecraft Alpha 1.1 progressive old school Let's Play. We have reached the end of round 26, and I have completed all the tasks that I had set out to complete. The research phase offered nothing to share in the series, except for this, the usual round review, where we go over everything that I did in round 26 and what is ahead in round 27. So, let's go. First thing is first. We need to return to Alcy and put on the gold armor and tools as part of the ritual of the research phase. I suppose it's because knowledge is golden. Let's go with that. It's like a buffalo run. I've decided, after much deliberation and a little experience, that my main series is going to, as documented in a playlist, going to continue to feature the entire game that I'm playing. I was going to try to remove certain content as being too repetitive, make my playlist shorter, but I found that I couldn't bring myself to stop recording anything. And when I came up with alternate lists. Playlists, that is. With shorter content, I found that it was getting in over my head. But I think what would work for me is that I'll create a playlist of just... Oops. I hate the fork. Not quite sure how I did that. I mean, the steak. Cooked fork I already had. I hope that wasn't wasted. Oh no, it was just bread. Okay, so I'm confused. Anyway, let's begin. I have a list on my second monitor. Which I'll have to glance at a little awkwardly. First on the list is something that I may have already done, which is to check out a cavern, which I think is on the beach, which I think I remember doing. So maybe we'll check that out, cross it off the list. I'll have to pull up the coordinates, just a moment. Okay. It's not in a promising location, but I think we've already checked it out. I'll try to pick that up at the right moment. Okay. So let's talk about how to walk through a door. Or into one. Oh, and the goal for me is to not use up my golden things. They are... Oh, cannot hold this stuff in my hand. That's what I did wrong. Anyway, the idea is to not engage with the world as I focus on higher thoughts, perhaps, of how to live in it. Then we go back to engagement. In round 26, we built this. I call it the Lit Grove. Trees are spaced out. It's a tree farm. And I think I like it better than the concentrated design that I have inside the home base here. Along with this Lit Grove comes a little bit new way of thinking. Instead of this being home base, it's now a farming district. As such, it has attached to it one big farm. In this case, a tree farm. I'll just say this. In the next round, we're going to expand this. I broke my own rule and attacked a cow with my golden sword. Whoops. Small design flaw. This redstone, I think, is activating this door. Anyway, let's talk about the scenic railway. Scenic railway that starts and ends here. The track that's laid out might be about this far. It's going to circle the mountains of Divide and come up back to where I've laid out torches and make one long scenic loop. I'm happy to say, with the opening up of the second mine, we are still on track to continue the work. In round 26, we made some good progress. I decided to cut out a little venture into one of the coves around the edge of the mountains, shorten the track. I still think it'll be a very fun ride. Nonetheless, we have a ways to go. I'm not sure how many more rounds of work it's going to take, but we'll get to do another chunk in round 27. Alright, things are a little bit scattered here. We'll head to the port. Talk about the port. In the last round 26, we finally completed our 2 days walk up the beach. And looking back at all the coastal expeditions that I've undertaken, I feel like I've had to make some adjustments. one of those is that I do want to enable expansion along the coastline. To do that, in round 27, I'm going to get in a boat. Actually, let's get in a boat. I'm going to get in a boat. And we're going to go along the coastline. This time we don't care about clay. What we care about is looking for the next likely port. And this also happens to be the way to that cavern I mentioned. I just want to double check. We've actually already explored it. It's in negative X and Z coordinates. Yeah, right in here, just what I recall, and I think yeah, there's the marker. Oh, I can't see it. Oh, there's some clay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, we have already done it. So I'll cross this off my list. As I recall, this didn't really go anywhere. But it was an interesting adventure, and there were a lot of spiders, as I recall. So anyway, we're just going to go along the coastline until we find our first really lovely fort. And then we're going to start a new region from that fort, from that location, just like anywhere else. Still working out the details, but I think it'll just be added to my list of regions to explore. A little complicated, but I want to balance things out so that I'm expanding across the continent more quickly than I am expanding along the coastline. Oop, I was afraid that was going to happen. More sticks for me. Anyway. Oops. That will take place in round 27. We don't, at this point, need to expand. But it's part of the game that I love. And on our way to to achieving our goals, I'm going to continue to do that work. Feels right for now. Okay. You know, I just had a thought. We should have gone into that cavern. It still had a torch. Maybe it isn't fully explored. Maybe I'll have to look it up. any of you watching this watches it today, maybe you could let me know what happened. Or maybe I'll just have to track down my own episode and find out. In previous rounds, we put up these boundary signs over the trail, indicating that when you pass under here, you are entering the Elsey Estuary Regional Park. Now my plan is to build what I call a park district. It's a kind of ranger's cabin. And also possibly an information kiosk that focuses on the park. We'll see how that all comes out. The park district is a part of the regional park creation, which follows the completion of trail building and is used to mark out along trails where you enter and exit that park. I thought about building a fence, but I think that's too much. All right, moving towards Bellevue, but we'll talk about our LCD mine. Pretty standard stuff there. In round 26, we excavated 2 mine shafts in the deep mine. We strip mined for diamonds. I don't recall if we found any. I think we did. Oh yes, we did, because we found an intersecting cavern. And that cavern had some diamonds. We'll do the same in the next round. We are aiming to collect 1 stack of diamonds, and that is proving difficult. Or at least time-consuming, which is fine. Alright, I believe that covers Elsey. And I've expanded my district system, so we have mining districts in the mine, we have port districts at ports, we have farming districts, we have park districts, and as you will see, we're also going to have a hunting district right here in Bellevue. It should be on my list. Here, while I'm thinking, let's go down here. Yeah, first on my list is to start a hunting district. So as nice as these hunting lanes are, I think the hunter deserves their own cabin. So we're going to pick out a nice spot, not too far away, to build a cabin. Also, we have an unusual project that I feel compelled to do. Off of this beach, right here, approximately underwater, there is a natural cave entrance, which I plugged up with dirt. Because during the strip mining, as I mentioned, I discovered a cave that's completely isolated from the surface. Oops. When I was moving through the cave, I found a waterfall. I followed it back up and found that it came out in the sea off the coast of Bellevue. And then it dropped down again and came to a magical cave with 4 little springs. I think 3 were of water and 1 of lava. And it captured my imagination that such an interesting cave would be at the end of such an interesting intrusion of water underground. So I added a new category of build, which I'm going to call the roadside attraction. There is a place in the U.S. where as you drive along the coast, suddenly perched on the edge of a cliff is a building. And that building is labeled Sea Lion Caves. And what you do for a good chunk of change is you gain access that guy pulled me into him and he hit me. This guy is challenge. Get him, piggy. Once you gain entrance, buy a big bag of fresh popped popcorn, you're allowed to enter through a doorway, down a staircase. That staircase takes you underground into the very stone that rises above the edge of the ocean. It gets dark, but there's plenty of reading materials, interpretive displays on the walls, telling you about what you're going to see and what you won't see, but is nonetheless true about where you're at. When you get to the bottom, you look, you wait your turn, because others are there, and you look, and you see sea lions lounging in a cave. And it's cool. And you have popcorn, which is also cool. Oh, Oh, so many guests. So anyway, I think, because of my experience with that real world place, why that Picky didn't give Mr. Skeleton a boost up. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Is that a... Oh, for a second I thought that was a brown sheep. I don't think they exist in this version. Anyway, right around that area, we're going to build something kind of like that. Only we'll go under the ocean. We'll follow the cave creek. And we'll see the magical cave. No sea lions. That's okay. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how messy it's going to be. But I feel compelled to accept the challenge. So with these cabins and districts and roadside attraction appear to be loading the list of tasks once again. That's part of the hazard of loving this game, even when you try to get to the end. Alright, let's see if we can finish off Bellevue here. We did two trail walks, yes. The LCD Mine Trail. Which is just a short trail that connects the Deep Mine entrance to the Bellevue Mountains Trail. I just walked and looked. It's a little bit late. We also walked the heart of the mountain trail on the south side of Edgewood Mountain. Alright. And it's just a slow, leisurely walk where we look around and just take in the beauty that is the Minecraft landscape. Another thing that we did was to finish off this odd project. It was actually the last trail build on the Bellevue Mountains Loop Trail. It's going to be some kind of Zen garden and then natural rocky outcrop with cactus. Then I made it into technically the design for a big cactus farm. But I'm not going to build a storage shed. I'm just going to leave this as is. It's a lot of work. It was what seemed right. This concept I have of the big farm is another one that I've just implemented recently. We have a big cactus farm, sugarcane farm, and tree farm. We'll be building a big wheat farm as the inspiration for another farming district, which I will talk about. Okay, in a bit. So to wrap up this very long project of building so many points of interest around the Bellevue Mountains Loop Trail in season round 27. It could be seasons. I thought about that. Around 27, we're going to take a long trail walk. It's probably going to take us overnight. Just kind of absorb the beauty of the landscape. Now, another thing, I was planning to establish this as a regional park. But I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to do that. As lovely as this trail is, I just don't find some of the landscape so lovely. These mountains are great, but I'm not feeling it. So we can enjoy the trail without turning it into a park. And that's in part because I've seen other places that are more incredibly beautiful, and they're just over this ridge. It's one of them. So I feel like I'm going to reserve that honor for that. All right. I talked about the trail walk. That takes care of Bellevue. Oh, another thing we did is we went out to the remote location from Bellevue Port to that Sealchan spawner farm, where I have built the music disc trap. I brought all the music discs to be stored there. And I attempted to use the trap again. I seem to recall having some difficulty in getting that corrected. So I'll let the music play. We'll take a little walk to Cascadia. we enter into Cascadia Springs Regional Park. For that reason, we're going to build a park district here. Which means we're going to look for a site for a cabin and a kiosk. And I'm running out of time. We'll have to complete this round review in the next episode. It is lovely, even with the railway running through it. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next. Take care.